So
Well,
Mike, he bore with me during this whole process, but I'm sure that at points he was probably ready to pull his hair out as I was trying to fix these things.
I'm sure from a prototyping standpoint, you were able to bang something out pretty quickly, but
Oh,
then.
we had what you're looking at right here.
uh
Aside from the multiplayer, we had this in a week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I would say we had this easily within 2 weeks. If Mike is hearing this and disagreeing, somewhere between 1 and 2 weeks. Well, it's my memory
But you were the
is
guy that said that we could do that,
sure.
pretty
Within
easily
two
too.
weeks,
Yeah.
we
So.
had an operational game, single player.
Right.
It was everything after that was dealing with the big thing was the multiplayer, and then we had to deal with game stats. So gathering, we have all kinds of statistics in here. We track when you play, what your favorite themes are, what time of day you play best, on what theme. Uh, just details about like daily games that you've played and who were the best players, what your best score was, all your friend matches that you play. We keep track of the last 100 friend matches. Um, but and then, if that weren't enough, then we had to deal with all the achievements, and we have a myriad of achievements in this game. So and then keep track of all of these in the different game modes was a challenge. So there was a lot of work here that was just like balancing. Like we had to play around a lot with getting the coin counts right and stuff like that. Initially, our coin reward, we started off at 95 coins, and on the premise that we'd start at 95 coins, and then somebody would play around, and as soon as they played one single player round, one multiplayer round, or whatever, they'd get 5 more coins pretty much almost instantly. And then they'd get prompted, hey, would you like to buy a theme? Because you just earned enough coins to buy one, and we see you've never bought a theme before. But the problem was we realized that it was too early. So there were a number of issues with this strategy, and so we had to play around with different values.
Yeah. There's no. You can't just feed it in one side of the machine and get a response out the other side of the machine, right? It's not like a calculator where you can just do the math and you're like, oh, look, there's the answer.
Yeah, and there's a lot of moving parts in this game too. I mean, all these fly-in. You're not seeing a lot of it right now, but you got all these different fly-ins, and when you score, you get these little bubbles at the top that not bubbles, but like banners and ribbons and stuff. And then you could get push notifications, and getting all that stuff to balance against each other was challenging because you have to be careful about asynchronous events coming in and messing up your animations and fly-ins and stuff like that.
Okay. So two questions.
Okay.
I'll have to come back to the first one because I forgot what it was. But the second one is, I remember what the first one is. The first one is you say you're collecting all these stats, and as you flip through the app here, we can see that you're expressing some of them in like sort of leaderboard fashion and stuff like that. Do you have or do you have plans for a analytics on the backside where you can kind of like see what's going on, or how are you going to use that tracking, or is it tracking to that degree?
Well, one, we don't track players in the sense that we are not tracking anything about individuals. So when you play this game, you're playing anonymously. You create an account on our site, and you can optionally put your password in there, or not password, but your email, in case you should lose your credentials and need details. But all of that stuff's encrypted. But as far as tracking data, yes, we do accumulate data on the back end. I could, if I was really with it, I could have brought up the. Let me fill in the gap here with a moment here, saying la 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 la. Where is it? Where are you? There we go. I want to bring it up before I want you to see all the other junk. Here it is. I got a list of all my servers. I got to pull up the right one.
Yeah, I wouldn't suspect that you guys would be tracking individuals, but we've talked about this before. Where we're talking about analytic or metric-driven design. This idea that if people don't use this menu option, then I don't need to have it, or if they don't get to this level, then maybe I need to make some sort of adjustment.
Yeah, give me a second here. I'll just bring this up.
Okay.
So what we got here is I'm not going to drill down into everything, but what you can see here is we've got a database of all kinds of details, app settings, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we keep track of all the games, the daily games, the friend games, and so we could, in fact, if we wanted to, harvest this information as far as how people did, what themes they played, stuff like that. Definitely, we could do that.
Okay. Yeah, so I just think it would be good to know just aggregate data, what's going on, stuff like that. Okay, so the second question was geared towards measuring success. I mean, you guys put a lot of work into this. How do you measure success? When do you say, like, oh, it's got 300 users, or oh, look, it's got a million users.
In Tahiti,
yeah.
Success.
Well, then, yeah, right, sure. I mean, clearly, those types of numbers, but like, let's just say, for example,
yes,
it has moderate success, and you're like, well, I think there's a point where people have to decide whether or not they're going to continue to spend time on a project. So for you guys, and I know I'm asking you to talk for Mike as well, where do you guys think the success is? Have you talked about that?
We have talked about it a little bit, and as the word is nebulous here, it's nebulous in our discussions. As far as we've gotten in terms of defining success is level 1 success, I guess, and I just make up these terms, we don't use it, but I would say a level 1 in our agreement here is that if we make enough money to pay for the assets that we use to make this and the server time and cost, that would be like a level of success. Still not paying us back for our time, but at least paying for the assets. We would consider this a success if it paid us back for the time we invested, and then something after that.
Yeah. Okay. So there's an intrinsic value in just having done it, and the lessons learned from moving forward.
Definitely. That there's value in having done it, but that's not part of the success. Yeah, you can't use that as part of the success measure, because you could work all day and learn all day and then live in a box.
Right. You never publish anything, right?
Right. So.
Well, and I don't ask because I mean, this looks like a great game. I'm not asking for any particular reason other than the fact that I think that everybody has to figure out how long they should work on something, and also I think that maybe we jump from thing to thing too quickly, right? And which is my follow-up question was, kind of what's the long-term goal for this? Do you guys want to go to the next level? You want to implement different features?
Yeah, we got some ideas. I'm not going to talk about them here because
no, obviously not. But I'm just saying, do you have? Yeah, do you have?
They're very important. They're great ideas that Mike has had, but they are very strategic and they would be applicable to other games, and we don't want other people to jump us on. Yeah,
sure. And because I see here that you've got that this is really well organized and this is a very solid idea. So it would be easy to think that you could iterate on it. So like you say,
we have a plan to iterate on this based on traction.
Okay, cool.
I think really you said success earlier, and the word I would prefer to use is traction. A game's success requires traction. So the first step is traction. Getting people to play, getting enough people consistently playing over time so you can go to the next level.
You want to have traction, not be in traction. Got it.
Yeah, right. We don't want, Guido to visit us and put us in traction. That's right. Yeah, so we got ideas here. I just wanted to say, you said something about the game being well put together and all that, and I just wanted to say that credit goes to Mike for he did a wonderful job of sort of prepping this. So he'd be like my ideal client in a sense, because he did all the work to lay out what the screen should look like and talk about how they should function and all that. And then we had a serious discussion and we negotiated a lot of different things about how things should be placed, or theming and coloring and rules and stuff like that. But as far as the fact that this looks very nice, is Mike should get lots and lots of credit for that, because he really put a lot of effort into conceiving this.